have stories that that are not your typical story where somebody just has a silver spoon and boom, that's when their entrepreneurship starts. It's a startup that starts with struggle, and so it had me thinking about Black Wall Street, and then it gave me this poem. Who would have thought that black folk would wave words of cash thicker than their majestic lips, thicker than the sheets of smoke that rose when they burned down Black Wall Street, not knowing that we would rise from those ashes like the phoenix, and that matchsticks just happened to be our next of kin. Black diamonds that the world once refused to dig, until it became too obvious how bright we shine from underneath this skin. That the layers of wealth that run underneath this melanin are a sworn testament unto themselves. That the veins that connect to the power grid in our ancestral names means that we are not just dark-skinned, but we see through the dark. And with these proud, thick lips as the light switch, we spoke loud and bright as lightning, rewriting the future in the same handwriting as Mansa Musa. Who would have thought that from a laughing stock to owning stock, black folk would turn the auction block on its head, choosing instead to bid on each other's genius, with each and every one of us as the highest bidder? Who would have thought it possible that we would melt down the chains that bind us into coins for a currency our very own, and that every piece of wood in the slave ships that confine us would become the bookshelves for a history that knows no revision, with a description of every single mineral they store? Because who needs 40 acres when we are several planets of land short? What does one single mule mean when there are countless heads of beasts that they drove all over the cliff? Who needs to be painted with the same brush when we are such an explosion of color which needs several forests of trees to account for each brush stroke? We are the newcomers, painted with shades of ebony and natural gold. We are the marbled streets of resilience that pour out of the avenues of an infinitely rich legacy. We are the bustling rhythm of a rekindled dream upon which Black Wall Street rises at last, not as a mere echo of the past, but as a symphony of redemption, conducted by the hands that once counted their losses in tears. Not as a metaphor of our reputation, but a reclamation of wealth beyond currency to that of identity, dignity, and the unyielding belief that despite the shadows of yesteryear, we still cast our silhouettes upon the pages of the present time. Zomkhonto.